in the WrestleMania picture, and they may put the U.S. title on somebody new, maybe like a Bobby Roode, maybe like a Ty Dillinger, somebody else to carry the torch with that, to put Styles, because Styles is your moneymaker on SmackDown. He needs to be in the mainstream, but I guess they put him mid card to try to put other guys over or give other guys exposure. But Nakamura needs to be, before this year is over, he needs to be the champion. Because if not, you can't continue to have him lose, because he's going to lose his momentum about him. Definitely. The theme itself puts him over. Just whenever he comes out, the crowd goes crazy. So I just feel like you need to put the title on him pretty soon.
And go ahead.
No, you're good. But I was just saying, just put the title on him, and give him a chance to build his momentum up that way. I think these matches will be more meaningful, like if he's defending the title against a Randy Orton or a John Cena and winning these matches. Because right now he's just winning number one contenderships, and then he gets to the title match and loses. Yeah. So it's like, okay, why did I beat Randy Orton just to fight Jinder Mahal and lose? Or why did I beat John Cena to do the same thing?
He's kind of going through like a premeditated Sasha Banks mode right now. Mm-hmm. He's winning just the number one contendership though, and if they keep making him lose, it's going to be just like
it's going to be like why would you do it? And you don't want, and Nakamura is one of those special type of wrestlers that you don't want to lose that momentum you have with him, because it's different. It's very different what he brings. I love his skill set in the ring. Mike's skills, not so much. He's Japanese, so you don't really expect him to be able to be like us, and
you can accept it.
Yeah, you can accept, like, it's Nakamura. He cool. He good. I understand what you said.
Right, he's Japanese. It's okay.
It's okay. We understand.
But going back to what you said about AJ Styles, going back up to the card to make it a WrestleMania match between the two, I would like to see, you gave me a good idea in my head, somebody hold two titles. Like, let AJ keep the USA title and then still boast about wanting to be the number one title. Not saying that he has to do it, which I feel like for him being SmackDown's pretty much the face of SmackDown, he would be the one person that could do it, that should do it. Mm-hmm. But in general, I just feel like, I remember, I think Seth Rollins was the last to do that.
Yeah, I think he did the U.S. title and the WWE
and
title.
that was like a fun experience. Like, and him being a heel, it made the people who beat him even more over, because it's like, now you run your mouth, you got to lose to him, and then in that same pay-per-view, you had to defend to somebody else. So that put the faces over a whole lot, and it might be a different dynamic by AJ Styles being a face right now. I don't know if they're going to plan to turn him heel when that confrontation does come, but I do want to see somebody hold multiple titles again.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot, like you said. I think the first time I ever remember seeing a person hold two championships was like I was really young, looking at old wrestling, movies, or not movies, but old wrestling pay-per-views. And I remember back, like, it was the Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan. Yeah. Ultimate Warrior was like the Intercontinental Champion. Hogan was the red and yellow Hulkamania WWF Champion. It was title versus title.
Right, those matches.
Yeah, and then they put on a really great match, and the Warrior won, and he had both belts. And I was like, that is so cool. Like, you have two people with two belts, like how in boxing you have all these different titles and stuff. It makes me feel like I'm that guy, I'm the champion of everything.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I think I would like to see that too. And then you brought up last week, maybe possible like brand versus brand.
Yeah.
Maybe title for title that way. And then maybe combine the championships again and let the champion roam, like how John Cena roams from both shows.
Yeah.
Like maybe like go from show to show.
But I think that too. When they do that, I feel like instead of making it one whole title again, like just make it its third title. Like that third title represents the brands itself.
Yeah, so you can show up anywhere.
Exactly, and that way that gives you still the multi-title. Mm-hmm. You still have, like, if I'm Raw, I'm the best of Raw and the best of WWE. Mm-hmm. And like you say, you get immunity to show up wherever you want, whenever you want. And you don't have to worry about relinquishing a title from a show. Mm-hmm. Like SmackDown will still have its heavyweight championship. Mm-hmm. You don't have to worry about saying, well, now somebody, like, they can still fight for the ultimate championship now, but nobody has a lack of titles, basically.
You're right. Because right now, like on both of these branded shows, I mean Raw and SmackDown, I mean the two most important titles per show is the Universal and the Intercontinental on Raw, and then you got the WWE Championship and the US Championship on SmackDown. If you're not feuding for either one of those, you're just kind of like a bottom feeder. And then you got the tag team division, obviously, which we don't have a lot of tag teams anymore. And then you got your women, and then that's it. I mean, so like, how will you? I guess they did the brand split to try to give more superstars opportunities to win championships. Because if you had it all together at one time, you pretty much would just have the WWE Championship, Intercontinental, US, and
those and then it'll be its own people, like those top 10, 15 people fight all the time.
Mm-hmm. You get the same pay-per-views over and over. You get the same matches over and over. So that could be something that they could do.
And while you're on the topic of titles, what I would like to see added too is a women's tag championship.
That could be, but then at that point, that would make pay-per-view 7 hours long. So it's just
true.
Championship. Okay, we got the Raw Women's Tag Team Championship, the SmackDown. So it's just like it's a lot much now. The pay-per-views are much longer, especially when they cross the brands and do like the big pay-per-views. Like SummerSlam was long, and it wasn't that great. And like they don't really have time to really build like a big rise. But that could be something like how they did the women's Money in the Bank. I think that was a good idea with that. But that could be something that they can look into and maybe have them like roam from show to show.
Yeah.
As opposed to like staying to like on one branded show and then doing it that way. But we did know that Nakamura did beat Randy Orton clean, so there was no foul play in this match, which you can't. I mean, you got to let these two legends, fight it to the end, and Nakamura won. So he's going to be moving on to Hell in a Cell versus Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers, obviously. They're going to be there, you know it. I don't know if it's going to be, it probably won't be a Hell in a Cell match. It'll probably just be a regular championship match. I don't know if they'll put some kind of special stipulation on it or anything. But I want to know, like, where does this leave Randy Orton now since he didn't win this match? Where is he going to go? Is he going to go back to Rusev again? I mean, or what? Where does he go from here?
I don't know. Honestly, right now, the best thing for him to do is take a vacation. He just needs to take a vacation. And I say that because, like you said, with him now being knocked out of the title picture again, you either got two things for him to do left. Either with whoever wins, Randy Orton automatically is back in that title picture, or he's back to doing gimmick fights with being Rusev or somebody else, and he's just doing squash matches or whatever. Mm-hmm. And even though I would like to see Randy Orton to get the title again, which I'm almost sure it's probably going to be Jinder Mahal winning again, I don't want to see that again. Like, I'm kind of done with Jinder Mahal, Randy Orton feud. So for him, I think he should take a break, and when he comes back, that'll reboost who he is, and that'll like kind of get people re-hyped. That's almost like re-energizing his career. Yeah, you're right. And he can pretty much go wherever he wants from there, and then whether he does, goes for the U.S. title, goes for the heavyweight championship again, it'll be a new excitement again, instead of us saying, okay, well, we know Randy Orton's going to be looking for it again. Uh-huh. So even though, like I said, I like Randy Orton, but just what they're doing with him, I don't like.
He lost a lot of energy because this year what's going on there with him is they built him up at the beginning of the year to where he won the Royal Rumble. Then the whole Bray Wyatt thing, they went at it, and then that really didn't end well because he won the championship from Bray, which a lot of people felt Bray should have kept it to finally get his push as champ. And then they had this horrible House of Horrors match, which is just they fighting this old abandoned house. And then you put him in the thing with Jinder Mahal, and then it's like his year started out really on a high note, and it's just as each month goes by, it's kind of declining. So maybe he does need to take a little break and then come back and reset. But I mean, do you have anything else for SmackDown Live? I mean, overall, it wasn't like a action-packed show because I guess they're building toward next week's Sin City match. I mean, matches, the 3 championship matches next week. Vince McMahon will be back, so next week should be better than this week.
It was a kind of a still Tuesday night for me, but like I said, I understand that it's building for something next week. So it does have me interested in seeing what's going to happen next Tuesday, although I had to kind of suffer with just 2 actual important storylines for a 2-hour show. So, which is fun.
I think they got the point across tonight within the time frame with the 2 hours. But because usually SmackDown Live, to me, they tend to have the better actual wrestling matches than Raw. Because a lot of matches on Raw just squash matches, as we said. So usually SmackDown Live gives you actually like, oh man, that was a good match.
Right.
You know, but now this week, I guess they kind of took a break for it to build for this big Las Vegas show. So if we're all good on that, just to recap, KO and Shane McMahon had a big confrontation. Shane got physical with him after he took some jabs at his family and some personal stuff that's happened to Shane McMahon. He is suspended as of right now, and that came from the chairman, Vince McMahon, his father. He will be here next week to, I guess, let us know as to why he made that decision and where it's going to go from here. We know Nakamura is the number 1 contender again for the WWE Championship versus Jinder Mahal. I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing Corey Graves a lot more on SmackDown Live. We do know JBL has stepped down as commentary on SmackDown Live. So that's just pretty much all the big stories that happened with that. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to take a break. We're going to come back and we're going to get into some U.S. Open tennis. I know we probably don't have a lot of tennis fans out there, but it is one of the big major things going on in sports right now, so we're just going to hit a little bit on that when we come back.
We are Sports Moods. That's 2 Moodys,
1 duty.
Sports. What's going on? We are back. That is Sports Moves.
2 Moody.
1 duty.
Sports.
We've been killing WWE. We talked about Monday Night Raw, WWE Smackdown. And now we are going to dive into a little bit of tennis. Like I said, we know that there might not be a lot of tennis fans, but Demo and myself, Simo, we have both played tennis, and in high school we were varsity tennis players, both of us being the captains of our teams. I took the title after he graduated, and yeah, so it's kind of relevant to us a little bit, even though I can admit I personally don't follow tennis as much, but I do understand its importance because I've lived it, I've played the game, and I know how hard of a job playing tennis is. So I'm going to let Demo go ahead and give you a little bit of knowledge of what's going on at the U.S. Open.
Yeah, so right now we know the U.S. Open is the last major of the year for the tennis world right now. So, right now we got the men and the women's side of things going on right now. Right now we're getting down to the quarterfinals. So when you get down to the quarterfinals in tennis, you're down to your final 8 competitors to kind of see who's going to be getting closer to claiming the championship. As of yesterday, we found out that Kevin Anderson is moving on to the semifinals. So he's made it to the 4th round of every major tournament they have. They have 4 major tournaments a year: Australian Open, French Open, Wimbledon. So he's been to the fourth round. He's never been past the fourth round of any of those tournaments. So this is like the first time he's actually broken through to like the final four. So he's